Hello there, welcome to Nationwide. My name is Ogochukwu Kaona and we are transmitting live from Abuja. And now we begin with security matters. Troops of the Nigerian Army have eliminated some terrorist raid operations conducted in Kaduna and Katsina states. In a statement, the Director, Army Public Relations, Major General Onyema Nwachukwu, says the troops also foiled a kidnap attempt in a primary school in Plateau State. Similarly, troops acting on intelligence successfully raided a terrorist hideout at Dutsen Kura in Batsari local government area of Katsina State and eliminated some terrorists after exchange of fire. During the operations, military woodland camouflage uniforms, ballistic helmets and several weapons were recovered. And now the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, Mina Military Cantonment Chapter, has promised to support widows of fallen heroes in all ramifications in order to be more productive and self-reliant. The initiative was to further lend their voices to advocate for inclusion to ensure societal progress. Hussein Musa reports.
The event, which began with a roadwalk by the women carrying placards with different inscriptions on empowerment, was to recognize the indispensable role women play in every facet of the economy, honor their achievement and resilience, as well as strength across the world. The group, which later reconverged at the Tradok headquarters, Mina, had series of lectures ranging from inspire inclusion for women in nutrition, health and well-being, gender equality and empowerment.
The day invites us to envision a future where every woman's potential is not only recognized but celebrated and contribute to build a more inclusive and empowering world for all.
Commander, Training and Doctrine Command, Major General Kelvin Aligbe, was represented at the engagement.
Nigerian Army as a whole, we are up to our game. We have a lot of platform where we ensure that the women achieve in life and become a greater people in the future.
The engagement was climaxed with the presentation of food items to officers' widows as a way of supporting their families. Emina Hussein Musa, NT News.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, says the Nigerian Air Force and the Armed Forces of Nigeria are duty-bound to ensure that the contributions of those who pay the supreme price in the defense of the nation are never in vain. The Air Chief said this at the NAF Officers' Wives Association NAFOA Medical and Humanitarian Outreach Program organized for widows of deceased NAF personnel held at NAF base at Sokoro, Abuja, calling on well-meaning Nigerians to support widows and the vulnerable in society. The Air Chief paid tribute to fallen heroes, giving assurance of continued educational support for children of those who die in active service. NAFOA President Rekia Abubakar explained that the outreach targeted 100 widows of NAF fallen heroes with offers of free medical checkup, essential services and provisions, including food items and a cash donation to serve as a reminder of NAFOA's unwavering support for these brave women, which also tallies with the mission of NAFOA, which is service to humanity. And now, Rotary International is carrying out a community outreach program targeted at reducing maternal and neonatal mortality in Nigeria. It seeks to specifically enlighten families in 6 states of the Federation. President Rotary International, Gordon McInally, who was in Kuchiguro, a suburb in Abuja, for the program tagged Together for Healthy Families, says the organization has committed $2 million to execute the project. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Visiting Kuchingoro presents a whole new cultural experience for the president of Rotary International. But the visit is more than a cultural exchange. Rotary International is concerned about the health challenges in the local community and has come to dialogue with residents and address the issues. Their target is to reduce maternal and neonatal mortality by 25%.
And it's a 3-year project at present, a pilot project that is bearing good results already and will prove itself, and then hopefully will qualify for further funding from many different sources. We are encouraging partners to recognise the success of this project and come on board with us, because we can't do this alone.
We have eclampsia, which is like high blood pressure for women. We have sepsis, which is infection, and all these are preventable.
The community dialogue program is going on in 500 primary health centers with outreach visits to many homes.
What we have learned today, we are going to add more our strength and power to see that we eliminate the death during maternity.
Rotary International maintains it is still working hard with partners towards eradicating polio all over the world. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Following the recent fire incident at the Dan Agundi Transmission Substation, Kano, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has inaugurated additional 100 MVA power transformer to boost capacity of the substation by 80 megawatts. A statement by TCN states that the new transformer will provide a vital increase in power supply capability. Previously, the substation operated 3 units of 60 MVA capacity transformers, but the recent fire incident damaged one of the transformers with partial effects on another, thereby reducing the capacity of the substation. TCN notes that amidst challenges in gas supply for power generation, leading to low generation outputs, load allocation to the Dan Agundi transmission substation stands at 30 megawatts. TCN extends its gratitude to all electricity consumers affected by the incident for their patience and support, confirming that full supply has been restored. Nationwide will now continue in Lagos, where Michael is standing by to give us more reports. Michael, it's over to you.
Thank you, Ogo Chukwuka. Onjeko 25% discount markets began simultaneously across all 20 local government areas and 37 LCDAs in Lagos, providing relief to residents. Jobokola reports that the first day of the exercise witnessed a massive turnout of Lagosians eager to take advantage of the initiative.
The 25% discount market, which covers major staple food items like rice, beans, garri, eggs, bread, presently in high demand, is aimed at mitigating the impact of the inflation that has hit the price of food items across the country. Kamoru Amau, an HR expert, has been spending a large part of his salary to provide food for his family. This initiative, he says, will reduce his budget on purchasing food.
It's a very good initiative. At least the Lagosians will be happy that the government is actually responding to their yearnings.
Gathered here are many like him who say the initiative will go a long way to keep them afloat amidst the prevailing economic situation.
What you buy outside for 8,000 naira, you get it here for like 5,000, 6,000 naira. So I think that's a good one. The way they did it is okay, because the process they gave us for 11 o'clock, and when we got here by 11 o'clock, they started.
The 25% reduction on each item, for instance, shows that 5 kilograms of rice, which is 7,100 naira, is sold at 5,325 naira. Beans is 6,225 naira for 5 kilograms instead of 8,300 naira sold at other markets. The same percentage applies to bread and other food commodity available. The process of purchase, according to the government official who spoke off camera, is cashless and orderly. Beneficiaries pay with their ATM cards, while tickets for all items demanded and paid for are issued on the spot, while the items are released at the point of sale. The first phase of this discounted market initiative by the Lagos State government is expected to last for 4 Sundays. Residents want all the issues observed on the first day of the exercise to be addressed before the second day of the exercise, which is next Sunday. All sales points across all the local governments in the state are effectively manned by security operatives. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
The interagency synergy between the Nigeria Customs Service and other security agencies have led to seizures of about 17 firearms and ammunitions and 23 packages of psychotropic substances. In addition, the Nigeria Customs Service Tinkan Island Command generated a sum of 240 billion 302 million naira from January 2024 to date. This was made known during a public disclosure of the seized items by the command. Amaka O reports that suspects arrested in connection with the seizure are currently being prosecuted.
The vision of the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service is to foster collaboration, consolidation, and innovation among agencies of government to strengthen anti-smuggling activities and facilitate legitimate trade.
This is one of the most dangerous among the arms you can see here.
These joint efforts, especially between the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Department of State Service, and the Nigeria Police Force, have yielded results with recent seizures of 11 rifles, 6 pistols that came with various cartridges, and 23 packs containing 23 kilograms of heroin.
The command in recent time have also made yet another seizure of psychotropic substances imported into the country, but through the collaboration with our partner agency, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, has been intercepted. Based on collaboration with them, as you can see right behind me, several kilograms of cannabis indica has been seized.
Some of the arms and ammunition you are seeing over here, they come together with some of these drugs. So maybe you can say it's the same syndicate who are partaking in these nefarious activities across the whole country. They have their own network here in Nigeria, and they have network in the various countries across the distant West African country.
The Tinkan Command of the Nigeria Customs Service says it has surpassed the 94 billion naira monthly revenue benchmark for each month by 107% in January, while that of February was surpassed by 141%. The command applauded the support of the Lagos State government in providing easy access through the ports and connecting roads. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Thank you so much for staying on. Welcome to Enugu. The wife of the Chief of Air Staff, Rekia Abubakar, has inaugurated projects executed by the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOWA, Enugu Ground Training Command. Blessing Anyanwu reports that the NAFOWA president also performed the groundbreaking of a proposed skill acquisition and vocational training center.
On arrival, wife of the Chief of Air Staff paid a courtesy visit on Air Vice Marshal Ground Training Command Enugu, Usman Abdullahi.
For us, today is a moment of joy for all of us. It is a moment of reunion for the NAFOWA members of the team.
The maiden visit to Enugu afforded her opportunity to interact with officers' wives and unveiled the NAFOWA crèche, secretariat, remodeled NAF Children Park, and the groundbreaking of an ultra-modern acquisition center.
I would call on them to continue being resilient, to be compassionate, to continue standing strong for their husbands.
To promote military-civil relationship, President NAFOWA also flagged off a medical outreach for pregnant women and children. She also had a timeout with children at a motherless home where she shared gift items.
It means that the military also care about our health. Even when they are there to ensure security, they also care about the health of the people.
In a warm reception, the NAFOWA chairperson, Ground Training Command Enugu, Amina Abdullahi, gave account of her stewardship.
Notwithstanding the effort made and our achievements so far, we still have urgent areas of intervention.
She assured to keep promoting interaction and welfare for the poor and the vulnerable in line with the vision of the association in Enugu. Blessing Anyam, NTA News.
The Investigation Committee on Collapsed Building and Road Research Institute has carried out a preliminary investigation on a collapsed 5-story building under construction at Basden Street, Fege in Onitsha, Anambra State. Dora Enwe reports that the team pointed out a lot of faulty lines on their preliminary findings.
The spate of building collapse in Anambra State is becoming a recurring affair. The most recent is a 5-story building which collapsed at Basden Street, Fege, Onitsha in Anambra State earlier part of the week. The 8-man investigative panel on collapsed building and road research institute, who visited the scene for preliminary investigation, noted that the ugly trend has to be properly addressed by various concerned agencies in order to curb the incident.
The columns that are standing, you can imagine we have seen where they used 12 mm from foundation to go to, there's something that's going to 5th floor. You understand? These are preliminary observations.
Clients, building owners should know the kind of people or contractors they give their projects to do.
The committee is expected to complete their research and make public their findings in a month's time. In Onitsha, Dora Enwe, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We'll now return you back to Ogochukwuka in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much. And back here, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, intercepts drug consignments in car compartment, recovers huge amount of tramadol pills. The agency also destroys over 3 tons of cannabis worth millions of naira. Sawa Khalil Ibrahim tells us more.
In its relentless fight against drug abuse and trafficking, operatives of the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) on patrol in Yanagua, Bayelsa State intercepted a motorcycle dispatch rider and recovered 200 grams of chin-chin produced with cannabis sativa, which was on a mission to be delivered to a buyer. A swift follow-up operation led to the arrest of the hairdresser who distributes the drugged chin-chin from the salon where she works. A search of the salon also led to the recovery of 3 kilograms, bringing the total weight of the illicit substance seized from the dough to 3.2 kilograms. Investigations revealed that they distribute the chin-chin often laced with cannabis and tramadol to students and at birthday parties. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives in Adamawa State on Wednesday, 13th March, arrested 2 suspects on its wanted list while on their way from Onitsha, Anambra State, where they had gone to buy a consignment of tramadol containing 14,428 pills of the opioid, which they tucked in the body compartment of their black Honda Civic car. They were nabbed along Newman Jalingo Road. Also recovered from them were 21 grams of cannabis and monetary exhibits totaling 19,280 naira. Similar arrests of different kinds of illicit substances were made in Osun, Ibadan, Bauchi, Kano, Nasarawa, Adamawa State and the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil, NTA News.
Nigeria can generate 94 billion naira annually from local production of special palm oil for major industries based in the country who import the products from foreign countries. A professor of agricultural engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Kehinde Owolarafe, stated this at a sensitization program organized for stakeholders in the oil palm value chain by Standard Organization of Nigeria in Osogbo. Femi Afariogun has the details.
From first producer of palm oil in the 60s, Nigeria is now the 5th largest producer of palm oil in the world. The global demand for palm oil keeps increasing, and this one-day sensitization workshop by Standard Organization of Nigeria is for palm oil producers, processors, distributors, marketers, retailers and users on the need to increase production without compromising standards. The managing director of Standard Organization of Nigeria, in a message to the workshop, explained that the palm oil industry represents one of the most effective avenues for poverty alleviation, food security, and ensuring economic stability in Nigeria.
We have relevant standards that will guide the producers in order for the product to meet up with the minimum requirement of the standard.
An agricultural engineer, Professor Kehinde Owolarafe, described the untapped resources in the production of palm oil as huge, urging government to provide needed technologies for local producers.
The quantity of SPO, that is special palm oil, imported that has been used by this company amount to about 94 billion naira in a year. That's if we can empower our processor here, it's a lot of business for them. Try to upgrade them so that they can produce special palm oil and they will feed the local industry. And we can even export.
The Standard Organization of Nigeria is taking the sensitization workshop to all palm oil producing states. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
In the midst of efforts by groups and religious organizations, individual philanthropist Abubakar Usman Gambo stands out for his support to the less privileged residents of Ojoku district in Akpa local government area of Kogi State. Their gratitude for this timely gesture is viewed as a contribution to President Tinubu's ongoing efforts to tackle food insecurity. Correspondent Michael Abije reports.
The arrival of the initiator at the event brought relief and joy to many who patiently awaited their turn for food items. Beneficiaries at the event were documented.
As I collect this thing, are they happy? Because no food for our house.
Very, very happy. I'm very happy and I pray for the person where bring this property.
The Madaki of the community, Ibrahim Ahmed, appealed to other prominent individuals to follow the donor's example in providing aid to the less privileged.
I want to pray and equally advise the well-to-do individuals in the community and beyond should try to initiate a thing like this for the less privileged ones to benefit.
The philanthropist Abubakar Usman Gambo emphasized that making suffering people smile is a collective responsibility, urging others to join in positively impacting lives during difficult times.
I grew up here. I know the level of poverty within my people, and I implore on other sons and daughters of the environment, of the community, to key into this program and try as much as possible to reach back to our less privileged brethren at home.
The food distribution at Ojoku Community Secondary School included rice, noodles, semovita, gari, and other items distributed freely to residents from various villages in the area. Michael Abiji, NT News.
The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, has challenged academic institutions to place priority on training students that will become innovators who will create digital solutions to societal needs for economic growth and national development. This was as Veritas University received a pat on the back for coming tops at the just concluded Africa Innovation Challenge of the African Telecommunication Union meeting in Kenya. Chidimandu BC reports that the minister presented a check of $20,000 won by the university at the competition.
At this time, when some countries are experiencing poor agricultural yield and shortage of food supply, students of Veritas University have come up with a globally applicable smart farm solution that can increase food production and promote sustainable farming practices for economic boom. The cost-effective smart farm, formulated with 50% locally sourced raw materials, is powered by Internet of Things and artificial intelligence technologies.
We have various sensors on the farm, and once the moisture content of the soil has been depleted, it sends a signal to our controller for it to perform smart irrigation.
This and the PHP framework that enables development of any software are the mind-blowing innovations that fetched Nigeria the overall position at the Africa Innovation Challenge. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, wants Veritas University's story to inspire other Nigerian universities to groom digital entrepreneurs.
Not only do we need to help raise and groom these strong people to become part of the workforce that will lift our nation and help with economic prosperity, we also need to understand that the world we need today demands that we have innovators as well. So it is also the responsibility of academic institutions to also groom these young people to become innovators, people who are creators.
26 African universities participated in this year's competition. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Gender rights advocates have re-echoed the need to invest heavily in the development of the girl child to enable them succeed according to the best of their ability. This came to the fore as correspondent Ebinemi Zitimiola examines issues against the socio-economic development of the girl child.
No child needs a special attention to thrive in a male-dominated society. Calls, therefore, have continued to be made to encourage them. It is in this regard affirmative measures and the creation of feminine gender arm of professional bodies was made. Notwithstanding, issues pertaining to the well-being of the girl child continued to persist. Societal pressures and other concerns have posed a serious challenge to the nurturing of the girl child to turn out as a responsible adult.
We had to try to make the children to understand that in as much as technology is supposed to be used to the glory of God and for the good of mankind, there are those side effects and that they are to be wary of them.
The need for parents and guardians to be alive to their responsibility is critical.
Not like the way our parents normally do, hiding the truth for us, fearing that, yes, that if the girl knows the truth, she might exploit. But no, I don't believe in that. It's to tell them the truth, let them know the danger of the things they are going to involve in it.
We should try as much as possible to live up to our responsibilities by providing for the children, telling them the dangers of accepting things from strangers and those men out there. So, and then teach our children contentment.
It's not just giving birth of children that matter, but giving them attention that they need, educating them to be self-reliant and self-dependent. That is what we are after.
If properly guided, being a girl child does not limit their potential. For Karinabo Iyabi, aside her academics, she finds the light in playing the saxophone.
Advise all the girls to know that they are intelligent, they are smart, they are loving, and then also for the boys to make use of their masculinity intelligently.
If we invest in the girl child, we are ultimately empowering society to grow.
Enyenagwa, Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
And now, health matters. The National Eye Center, Kaduna, has taken its awareness campaign on World Glaucoma Week to the military personnel at the Nigerian Defense Academy, Afaka, Kaduna. Correspondent Haruna Mohammed reports that the aim is to promote preventive measures against this sight-stealing disease.
Glaucoma, often referred as the silent thief of sight, poses a threat to military personnel due to the nature of their duties and the potential for eye injuries in combat zones or training exercise. Against this threat, the National Eye Center has taken its awareness to the military to educate them about the importance of regular eye check.
This have been screened before taken into the academy, but then in the course of work, you see with age, the eyes also has some problems.
It's been projected that by 2030, up to 94 million people will have glaucoma. That's the estimate, global estimate.
Deputy Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy Air Vice Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke says maintaining optimal vision is essential for mission combat readiness, and by educating the personnel about glaucoma and providing access to screening services, it will assist tremendously.
We in the military do not take anything that has to do with the body medically, especially the eye, for joke.
The National Eye Center is raising awareness towards a future where glaucoma is no longer a threat to vision. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Kemi is in Ibadan to give us more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Kemi.
Chukwuka, welcome to Ibadan. Public enlightenment is an antidote to unwanted pregnancy and unsafe abortion in the country. This is the take of sexual reproductive health experts, civil society, academia, and media at a workshop in Ibadan on the need to reduce this social menace and its inherent dangers. Lukman Hassan was there and brings the details.
Unintended pregnancies that more often than not result in complicated abortions. This, they say, borders on the misconception in the use of contraceptives and the need for couples to visit medical facilities together for expert advice.
Focus there for social, we can come together, acting together, different people, including the youth.
The root cause of unintended pregnancy is non-use of effective modern contraception.
Unsafe abortion, for example, account for 30 to 40% of the women who die from pregnancy-related issues.
Participants at the workshop, including researchers, have said the statistics of unintended pregnancy and unsafe abortion in Nigeria is on the increase and must be nipped in the bud to ensure the health safety of women.
To come on board and see how advocacy can be preached, the adolescent will understand why this should be reduced, so the lives of our women will be saved and guaranteed.
The workshop by Partnership for Advancing Abortion Research and Reducing Unsafe Abortion in Nigeria aims at highlighting the dangers associated as well as reducing unintended pregnancy and unsafe abortion among women and adolescents in the country. In Ibadan, Lukman Hassan, NTA News.
As the world grapples with economic challenges, Nigeria inclusive, the ongoing Lenten period is seen as a source of strength to cope with the prevailing challenges by embracing the spirit of sacrifice and reflection. Grace Ayonleke samples people's opinion on coping mechanisms.
Lent is a time of reflection, repentance and sacrifice for Christians around the world. It is a period of fasting for 40 days. Culminating in the Easter celebrations. Believers focus on prayers, fasting, and almsgiving as a way to prepare their hearts and minds for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now that Lent is halfway, Nigerians say economic hardship with high cost of food and other essentials have become a growing concern for many individuals and families.
I think this is a challenge to believers at this time. We should just look at the economic crunch in the land as opportunity for us to deny ourselves of our daily meals, to seek the face of God.
At a period like this, more than before, if you deny yourself of a meal, look out for somebody who needed that meal but does not have access to it.
Tough economic times like this, fasting can add an extra layer of challenge. But it's important to have a positive mindset.
The principles of self-denial and selflessness comes handy as mechanisms in facing the economic hardship. By embracing the principles of Lent, individuals can find strength to cope with economic hardship and emerge stronger and more resilient in their faith and commitment to God. In Ibadan, Grace Ayonleke, NTA News.
And that does it from Ibadan. Nationwide.
Thank you for staying tuned. Since the incidents of abduction of school children 10 years ago, Nigeria has witnessed the abduction of more than 1,000 school children. And governments at all levels are mapping out strategies to put an end to the ugly trend. Olayinka Ojo in this report examines government's efforts through the Safe School initiative in addressing issues of kidnapping of school children.
Faced with the threat of kidnapping of pupils and students, leading to low enrollment in schools, Nigeria became a signatory to the International Safe School Declaration. The Safe School initiative is designed to promote effective programs and policies that will protect schools from attack, as well as prevent corruption and promote accountability. The implementation of the Safe School program started in 2014 after the adoption of more than 200 girls at Government Secondary School Chibok in Borno State.
Right now, the over 20 million out-of-school children, which Mr. President prioritized in the 8-point agenda to get them back to school, the attack on school is a major setback.
In 2022, a national plan for school financing was formally launched with an action plan to spend 144.8 billion naira in 4 years. But of this amount, only 15 billion naira was released early 2023. And since the protection of schools, students, teachers, and educational facilities has become urgent, the Nigerian Police Force embarked on training of its personnel on schools protection.
This squad will operate in support of the Schools Protection Squad to ensure our educational facilities remain free from danger and unwelcome incidents.
Another interesting aspect is the establishment of the National Safe School Center to help improve intelligence gathering and response.
We have been able to set up the center, command and control center. We have been able to also bring agencies together so that they can be responding when things happen. We have been able to develop an SOP that will guide our operations. Then we have been able to train so many people, particularly through the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, state desk officers for response coordination.
For other key players, public awareness is pivotal to the initiative.
Including local vigilantes, hunters groups, retired security personnel, traditional and religious leaders would also be integrated into the security architecture, precisely in the area of intelligence gathering, aimed at providing support in securing schools and peoples.
With all these measures in place, it is expected that government and relevant stakeholders will intensify efforts to secure the school environment to enable pupils, students and teachers study under a conducive environment without fear of being attacked. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Islamic scholars are calling on the Muslim Ummah to be fervent in prayers for the nation for Allah's blessings as they observe this year's holy month of Ramadan. Zenret Demun puts together some reports on Ramadan lecture.
Lori Ahmad Fulani reports that Islamic scholars say in spite of the current economic challenges facing Nigeria, there will be light at the end of the tunnel if Nigerians extend hands of fellowship and have empathy for one another, as exemplified by Prophet Muhammad.
Whatever situation any Muslim may find himself, he must first look into Al-Quran al-Karim and prophetic tradition.
Deepen your connection with Almighty Allah.
Similarly, Islamic scholars in Bauchi agree that only repentance from the negative attitudes with fairness and justice would safeguard Nigerians against the multiple effects of the current economic situation in the country, as reported by Muazu Hassan.
First step, let us fear Almighty Allah in all our affairs. In all our affairs, don't ever look into anybody saying that so-so person has did it. What is your own? What is your own contribution? Secondly, repentance. Let's repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be sincere in our repentance.
And the Director General, Nigerian Television Authority NTA, Saliu Abdul Hamid Dembo, says Nigerians will have to be committed to fostering positive societal transformations through education, humanitarian and developmental activities. This is at the 21st Annual National Unity Ramadan Lecture by the Al-Habibiyya Society of Nigeria with the theme Ramadan, Coping with the Current Challenges.
We all know and understand the level that we are, but I want to implore that as we embark on the journey of faith in Islam during this Ramadan, I would like us to always build faith in ensuring that positive change is possible.
And that is the fact that as Nigerians, as individuals, we all owe ourselves, we owe our family, we owe our country certain obligations under Islam.
know there are lots of challenges. We cannot continue to be complaining. Everybody is complaining. Almost everybody has become economic experts. This is what the president is supposed to do. This is what the government is supposed to do. Everybody without doing anything. So now I say we have to do something. We have to think out of the box.
Zen Reddington, NT News.
And in the spirit of the 2024 Ramadan fast, the Confederation of APC support groups has hosted some members of the Abuja Muslim community to the traditional break of fast. The Director General of the organization, Kailani Mohammed, says the initiative is to identify with the needy and join hands in praying for the future of Nigeria. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Sunset and the call to prayer signifies the breaking of the day's fast, with hundreds queuing to treat their stomachs in a very special way after hours of endurance.
This is a sacred month, and our Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has enjoined all Muslims, including mankind, in this month to be compassionate.
The Director General Confederation of APC support groups, Professor Kailani Mohammed, says the essence was to bring a segment of the fasting population beyond party lines to unite in prayers for the country.
I would like to call on Nigerians to support this government. We are just maybe about 11 months into leadership, into good governance. The president has been doling out policies that will bring succor, that will bring sanity, that will rejuvenate and rejig this country.
He noted that Nigeria's narrative will change under the Tinubu's presidency, and citizens will bask in the euphoria and blossom for prosperity of the land. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The national leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has demanded the immediate release of its Edo State Chapter Chairman, Dr. Tony Azegbemi, who was abducted in Benin City, Edo State capital. PDP, in a statement from its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, expressed concerns over Dr. Azegbemi's abduction. The party, however, commended the nation's gallant security personnel in their patriotic effort to secure the country and urged them not to relent despite the daunting challenges. It also commended the efforts of the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, particularly in the deployment of effective security frameworks and structures which the security agencies should leverage on to further guarantee the safety of citizens in Edo and other parts of the country. And now we go to Safe School Initiative. More on that. The spate of attacks and kidnapping of students across the country has prompted the governments of Edo, Delta, and Ekiti and Ondo states to take more proactive and collaborative efforts to safeguard the lives of students and teachers in the states. Jude Abugo brings us a report on the impact of the various security measures put in place by these states to ensure that children and teachers are safe in schools.
The recurring abduction of students and insensate attacks on schools across the country has made it imperative for all tiers of government, security agencies, and citizens to work together to ensure that schools in the country are safe and conducive for learning. In line with this, Ekiti State, which recorded the kidnapping of 6 pupils, 3 teachers, and a driver in January this year, has stepped up its complementary role in keeping schools safe. The coordinator of safe schools in the state, Razak Malomo, explained that security agencies are working with school administrators and community leaders to secure schools in the state.
We have a program already that we are running. We are going to all the schools in the state to sensitize them on the security protocols for schools that will make them safe.
Although Edo State has not recorded any attack or abduction in schools, the state has enacted policies to safeguard schools. This, the State Commissioner for Education, Juan Oviawe, said include social safeguarding fencing of school premises, and engagement of local vigilantes to guard schools.
We are working with the Ministry of Public Safety and Security. They are in charge of the Edo State Command and Control Center, where there is an emergency number. There's a whole big hall filled with people and computers and cameras. They are saying all that is going on across the state. We are also sensitizing our teachers and school heads to make sure that when there is an emergency, any emergency in school, there is an evacuation plan so that no child is lost in the confusion.
Education stakeholders in Delta and Ondo states are concerned about the impact the situation will have on learning and school enrollment.
If you look at such scenarios, it makes it difficult for parents to really want to decide to send their kids to the school, to study, and as such, it will affect society in a negative light.
They should try as much as they can, first of all, to make sure that the school is secured, maybe by erecting fence around the school, get security agents that will guide the children, just like teachers go to school. They should be there from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock when they close, so that these children will have the confidence that at least they have people guiding them in school.
Stakeholders also advise that schools in rural areas be given more attention in the Safe Schools initiative, since they are more porous and prone to attacks. In Benin, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And next is Sports Update.
Let's begin with football, as Nigerian Taiwo Awoniyi has joined a growing list of players who could miss the friendlies against Ghana and Mali later this month in Morocco. Awoniyi missed Nottingham Forest 1-1 draw with Luton Town Saturday as a result of a reoccurring injury which has kept him in and out of Nuno Esperanto Santos' team. Also on the list is new call-up Gabriel Osho, who is currently battling to be fit for a Super Eagles debut. Meanwhile, Watford caretaker manager singled out Emmanuel Dennis for special praise after he shrugged off injury to score the match winner at Birmingham City. The Super Eagles winger pounced on the defensive lap in the 43rd minute to score what eventually proved to be the match winner. To the African Games in Ghana, Nigerians Pamela Bauer and Esther Oba ensured Team Nigeria returned with the bronze in beach volleyball, despite being relatively new to the sport. The youngsters secured the bronze in the women's double as they proudly shared the podium with Egypt and Madagascar. Similarly, Nigerians Marylove Edward and Oyilomo Quadri has both advanced into the round of 32 of the women's tennis single in Ghana. Meanwhile, Wisin Osalele Igbinovia is making the mark in Accra as the youngster has joined his compatriot Christopher Bulu in the next round after securing a win over Ethiopian's Yabat Kabedi in the round of 64 of the men's tennis single. And finally to tennis, as world number 1 Novak Djokovic has confirmed he will not be playing in next week's Miami's Open due to scheduling. The 24-time Grand Slam champions returned to play the early session of the U.S. hardcore swing in Indian Wells in California, only to suffer a shock third-round exit to lonely ranked Italian Lucas Nadi. Djokovic said after the defeat, he still planned to play in the Miami Open despite the loss, but that would not be possible. Djokovic's statement on Saturday gave no indication of where he next expected to play. With Sports Update, Oche Ngbede, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide today. Thank you for watching.
Hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International,